caused her tongue to stick to the roof of her mouth.
"Looks like you found him,"
he said, crossing his arms over his chest as he studied her. All hope he would be cooperative flew out the window given the chilly reception she received so far. The bell on the door jingled as Emerson's pulse kicked up a couple of notches. All she had to do was remember to breathe, and she could do this. The hope of figuring out who the woman was in the photo she'd found tucked behind another in a frame as she'd gone through her dad's things spurred a boost of confidence. "Not exactly. It's not you," she said, before pulling the photo out of her purse and setting it on top of the counter. "I'm trying to locate the woman in the picture, and I thought you might know who she is." Mr. Ross balked. He barely glanced at the photo before shoving it toward her, as though it might bite.
"No idea what you're talking about," he said briskly. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to work."
Emerson looked around. There was one customer inside the shop, and none at either of the pumps. The physical presence of the man at the wall of coolers behind her filled the room. She didn't dare turn to get a good look at the distraction. Instead, she quirked a brow as she turned to face Mr. Ross. "Is there anyone in town you could recommend that I speak to?" she asked. "It's important that I find this woman. It's personal."
"Not one,"
he said, as he shrugged her off like she was an irritating fly on a horse's backside. "Sir, please, any information you have that might help me in my search would be much appreciated." She wasn't above begging after, while at her father's wake, she'd overheard her aunt say what a shame it was that Emerson had no idea who her real mother was. Grieving, Emerson could have sworn she'd heard wrong. After subtly confronting her aunt, who denied she'd said anything of the sort, Emerson's suspicions grew. Her aunt's dishonesty was a huge red signal. And then Emerson had found the picture that was so old, it was literally stuck to the one in front of it. She'd peeled the second layer off to find a woman holding and beaming at infant Emerson while standing in front of BT. So, she was here for answers. She had no idea how she was going to get them out of the stubborn man behind the counter. But returning to Arlington empty-handed after coming this far couldn't be the way this day ended. There were too many questions buzzing around inside her head, penetrating her thoughts, disturbing her sleep. She couldn't walk away from her only lead. Every person had a right to know the basics about themselves, their name, where they're from, who their real parents are. If what her aunt had spoken in hushed tones that cold November afternoon was true, Emerson had been lied to her entire life by the one person she'd trusted implicitly. Her father.
"Sorry, I don't have what you need here. Might want to head on home,"
Mr. Ross said, and then waved his hand like he'd just dismissed her. Right before the brush-off came a warning look so fast, she almost missed it. Head on home? Was this man serious? Based on his lackluster expression, he was. Giving up on the only lead Emerson had was unimaginable. The hard lines on Mr. Ross's face told her that he wasn't one to give in once he dug his heels in. To prove the point, he started flipping through the pages of the magazine again. Small towns were known for taking care of their own. Was her mother from here? Did she grow up in Cider Creek? Was she still here? If she was, would she want to meet her daughter? An awareness of the other person in the small building who was walking up right behind her drew her attention away from Mr. Ross. A woodsy and spicy all-male scent filled her senses when she inhaled, causing a low, burning fire to start in her belly.
"May I help you?"
Mr. Ross looked over her head at the customer standing behind her. She sidestepped to allow passage as she noticed how wide Mr. Ross's eyes had become.
"Rory Hayes? Is that you all grown up?"
he asked. "Yes, sir." A strong male voice sent sensual vibrations skittering across her skin. And awareness. Emerson risked a glance at the tall, handsome as sin stranger. He was taller than Mr. Ross by a good 2 inches, younger by several decades, and clearly more attractive. There were big, expressive